In this tutorial, we're going to talk about some of the more advanced features of SURFCAM 2-axis contour milling. I'm going to begin by moving up to NC, selecting 2-axis, and moving down to contour. We're going to chain the profile, click on Done, and our Tool Information tab will appear. We're using a 1/2-inch end mill. We have our tool number 1 set up, and our speeds and feeds are satisfactory. Going to move over to the Cut Control tab now. We're set up for climb milling. Our total depth, that is our amount to remove in Z, is 1/2 inch. Our rough spacing, that is our depth per pass, is 1/4 inch. One thing I would like to add can be seen in the lower left-hand corner here, a lead-in move and a lead-out move. The lead-in move is an approach to the contour. The lead-out move is an exit from the contour. If I click on the lead-in move button that says None, and I click on the arrow next to lead type, you can see that there are 4 different types of lead-in move: line on final, arc on final, line on all, and arc on all. Line on final and arc on final means that at only the last peck depth will you get a lead-in move. Line on all and arc on all means that at every peck depth you will get a lead-in move, either a line or an arc. I'm going to choose line on all. The length of this approach line will be 1.5 times the cutter radius. That is 1.5 times the 1/4 inch radius of our 1/2-inch cutter, which is equal to 0.375. The angle of the approach will be 90 degrees to the contour. The feed rate along that line can either be at plunge rate, regular feed rate, or a rapid rate. I'm going to approach at a plunge rate, which will be our slower Z-axis feed rate, and click OK. The lead-out move is similar. I click on None. Lead type on this one I'm going to change to arc on all. The angle here means how many degrees the arc move will make from the end of the profile to the end of the lead-out move. In this case, we have it set up for 90 degrees. The radius of that arc is going to be 1.5 times the cutter radius. The feed rate along that lead-out move is going to be left at the regular feed rate. I'll click OK, and click OK at the bottom, and accept the tool path. As you can see, our lead-in move is 90 degrees to our contour, and when we get to the end of the profile, we have 90 degrees of motion from the beginning of the lead-out move to the end of it. Over in the lower left-hand corner, this may be a problem, and I'll show you how to fix it. Probably not a good idea to approach 90 degrees to the contour, so what I'm going to do is go back to the Operations Manager, right mouse click on our tool path, and regenerate the tool path with the original geometry. We'll go to the Cut Control tab and move down to the lead-in move. Click on it, and we're going to make one adjustment here, the angle. The angle is 90 degrees to the contour. If you want a tangential approach to any line, all you have to do is change the angle from 90 to 0 and click OK. Click OK again at the bottom, and if you look at the approach now, we're starting 1.5 times the cutter radius away from the contour, but approaching in a tangential move. When we get to the end of the profile, we make our 90-degree move off, and then wrap it back across the part and plunge down for the next pass.